Throughout my life, I have learned a lot. Thankfully for school and other ways of learning, I was able to get a great understanding of general knowledge, mathematics, language, history, and science, as well as my own personal knowledge path away from school. Throughout my journey, I have come to the realization that all of human history comes down to storytelling. What I have experienced is that deep down within every man, woman, and child are archetypal blueprints that are deep in every human psyche. Carl Jung called this the collective unconscious, which is made up of instinctual patterns inherited genetically throughout the evolution of our species. These archetypes provide the very foundations for human behavior. Like the two sides of every coin, most archetypes have a positive and a negative, the yin and the yang, the chaos and the order. And like the yin and the yang symbol, there is both a circle of positive hidden in the negative and a little negative in the positive. This is a great example of the duality and the multitude of the human experience. The hero is the main character to every story, and every man, woman, and child is the hero to their own personal story. Now the hero as depicted in modern day is always considered to be good, but just as the yin and the yang symbol, the hero archetype can be both a positive or a negative force in their own story. One of the most iconic lines from the Buddha is that life is about suffering. And when I learned this, I couldn't grasp my mind around it. How can one of the holiest of symbols of personal happiness say that life is about suffering? It took me some time to figure it out, but different types of suffering is important for everyday life. The sage, the wizard, or the wise old man is the guiding force behind the hero. His role is to guide the hero to maximize his potential and to aid him on defeating chaos in his own life. His role is to encourage the hero. This role can be seen in modern day as teachers, professors, and even parents. The princess can be the main character of a story or it can be the motivational factor for the hero. Women throughout history have been a great source of motivation for women and men for better or for worse. Think Lancelot falling deeply in love with Guinevere, which ends up destroying the whole kingdom of Camelot, or Princess Belle and the Beast. The Dragon of Chaos is the ultimate challenge for the hero. The hero's challenge is to bring order into the world, and the Dragon of Chaos is here to be the ultimate form of the unknown and to bring the hero's world into chaos, usually for the dragon's own benefit. This is why dragons tend to hoard gold. The divine child is helpless and innocent. The divine child is also the first and most primal archetype that we humans carry in our collective unconscious. A birth of a new child symbolizes the birth of a new hero whose goal is to take the existing world and establish order. When the divine child is born, he needs protection from the chaos of the world around him, and because he is helpless, he is at the bottom of the hierarchical pyramid. As the hero grows, his goal is to establish order within the chaos and in turn rise up and above the hierarchical pyramid. The hero's journey starts with a call to action which is usually given by the sage. Examples of this can be Gandalf in Lord of the Rings or Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio. When the divine child is born, chaos attacks to destroy him. This in itself is a call to action and one that is lived by everyone. With the sage's help, the hero must then go out into chaos and conquer his or her first obstacle. In the story of King Arthur, his sage, Merlin, encourages Arthur as a young boy to try to take the sword out of the stone. He then grabs the courage to attempt unwielding the sword and succeeds. After becoming victorious over the hero's first obstacle, he then starts to become recognized for it. In this image you see Peter Pan telling great stories of his victories, some real and some fake, and to the amazement and satisfaction of everyone around him, especially his own ego and the opposite sex. This part of the hero's journey is tempting for any human being. The acknowledgement and praise for past victories, big or small, tend to boost the ego and can make the hero satisfied with his or her endeavors, causing the hero to become lazy and leaving them somewhere in the bottom or the middle of the hierarchical pyramid. This calls for the sage to intervene and tell the hero, hey, your job is not finished. After the victory over the hero's first obstacle, there is still a lot of chaos around him. Some can say there is more chaos now because the hero is being praised for his or her actions, which can cause a bloating of the ego and arrogance. The sage tells him that he must go into the underworld, or the unknown. This is also known in Christianity as hell. And in here is where he must fight the dragon of chaos. And he must do this willingly. In Back to the Future, the underworld is depicted as the past. One of the most well-known examples of the hero willingly taking on suffering as he descends into chaos is Jesus Christ. Jesus, before his acceptance of the cross, knowing that this means great physical and mental pain and suffering, and ultimately his death, spends 40 days being tempted by Satan. Next is the fight against the dragon of chaos. Here, the hero must enter the center of chaos and must overcome the embodiment of chaos and danger in his world. Chaos in everyday life can be seen not only as everything that is harmful in the exterior of the world, but also as in diving into one's self. But why should the hero do this? The answer is the reward. Dragons, as I have already said, are great hoarders of wealth and gold, but that is not the only thing the dragon of chaos has taken. Chaos has also seized the princess, and this is a great symbol for life. The hero must willingly face his fears, both exterior and interior, in order to save the princess. And by taking on the suffering needed to fight the chaos both within and without, the hero brings his world and his realm back to order. And this is the hero's journey and the hero's purpose. Many won't try, many will give up, but the hero will take the road less traveled. The hero will fight and overcome the chaos. Thank you.